This is Jeff Kramer with SunNFun 2024 at the 50th anniversary of the Aerospace Expo. I've got Gabe Miller from Smokehouse Pilots with us, and I'm going to ask him, tell us all about this organization that you started and how did it come about?
So, well, first of all, thanks for chatting. And so Smokehouse Pilots is a social aviation club that we started in 2017, and we have a wide range of people that are in the club. So we have members that are airline pilots, air traffic controllers, student pilots. We have military, commercial, you name it, we probably have it. And what we do are essentially three things. We have what we call flyouts, where we'll coordinate flyouts so that we'll all go somewhere, have lunch. We'll do that fun stuff. We'll take 40, 50 airplanes places all up and down the East Coast. We're trying to get over, maybe more towards the West. And then we have speak outs. So we have bring in speakers. And so it's kind of cool where we'll bring in a speaker, whether it's an astronaut, airline pilot, whatever it is, honestly, anything. We have a lot of vendors here that we probably talk with. And we'll do that virtually and in person. So we'll have dinner together if they're in person. We do it essentially first Wednesday of every month, and we'll try to live stream that. And then finally, we just launched a podcast called Hangar Flying with Smokehouse Pilots. And so that's a new venture for us. I mean, we're testing it out here at SunNFun, but our goal is to really just try to get people connected and just stay true to our mission, which is aviation plus community equals opportunity impact. And if we can do those things, then that's what we're up to.
Good. Where do you do your podcasts? Where do they originate?
So we have the ability to do podcasts in person, which is going to be in Leesburg, Virginia, or we'll do that at my home, in my home office, or we'll do that virtually. So we have the ability to do both. And so I've actually talked with a lot of people here this week that want to be on the podcast, and we're going to do those virtually because they're all over the world. So it's pretty cool. I'd actually talked with someone a while ago that is from Brazil, and they want to have a conversation. So I'm looking forward to that.
Good. Brazil is great for aviation, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So tell me, what have you? How many SunNFuns have you been to, and is this the first for your Smokehouse Pilots?
So I started coming to SunNFun in 2019, and then as far as Smokehouse, this is our very first time being here at SunNFun with a booth. And I think that for us, it's just trying new things and seeing if it, just continuing to connect with people. There was a lot of questions of like, why would we put a booth? What would we do? What would we talk about? And to be honest with you, this is what we're looking for, right? This conversation. So, this is the first time, and we're learning a lot. So.
Have you had a chance to walk around much?
I haven't. I will hopefully try to do that later this week. The beautiful thing about Smokehouse now is that we do have a team that is helping run it. So I have 7 other people that help me run Smokehouse, and that's going to allow us to all transfer out and go out and see the show, if you will.
Good. How many states have you visited so far with your organization?
Well, let's see. Almost every as far as members in every state, as far as what we've done, from all the way up to Maine, all the way down to Florida, we've been in as far as the flyout. And so we've covered a lot of ground. But, when we started in 2017, it was 4 of us that were taking 2 airplanes to places. And so now to go into an airport with 40, 50 airplanes and, really, it's interesting. I mean, I feel like, yes, it's cool to do the community thing, and that's what it's all about. Now, at the same time, there's a benefit to that airport to help with the commerce and everything else. And, the restaurants love it. It's just awesome. So there's a lot of coordination on the back end to get these things so that people just show up and have fun. And there's not a lot to worry about, right? It's just be safe, and that's really what we're looking for.
Other than the flyouts, what do you envision Smokehouse Pilots to develop into, and how are you planning on fostering that aviation community?
So I feel like, again, if we can stay true to the mission of aviation plus community equals opportunity impact, whatever that it develops into, I'm not exactly sure. I feel like my big thing is to make sure that our culture remains true, where we have good camaraderie, we have just good values and people that believe in the same thing, and keep out some of the things that that might not be that. And I feel like whatever that plays into, I would love to see Smokehouse members all across the world, and that they have their own little tight-knit group that they're doing flyouts and they're bringing in speakers, they're doing all that stuff, and maybe a model that they can follow. But this is not a this is absolutely not a thing that we're trying to monetize or build a model around. This is literally trying to bring people together in aviation. That's what that's about.
Good. Have you reached out to any aviation organizations such as AOPA or EAA?
Yes, so we just had AOPA on a virtual speak out last week, as a matter of fact. Mike Ginter of AOPA, he was a guest, and so we did that virtually. And, it's cool because there's a lot of people that are like, hey, we want to be in speak outs. Why don't you do more virtual? And, we did that during COVID, and we learned a lot. We did 125 events in 2022. We did 125 events. And the only reason I know that is because Facebook told me. But we thought, if that's the case and people really like that, why not? And so we're now trying to mix in more virtual now because, at the same time, I mean, everybody loved the in-person speak-outs when COVID, kind of whatever. So that was what I've been focusing on. I love the in-person stuff. It's just different. So then we just tried to do it again. So anyways, we had AOPA, we had EAA. I'm a pilot for EAA, so we do a lot of Young Eagle flights. And then I don't know if you've heard of STEM Flights, but STEM Flights is another organization that I do a lot of work with. As a matter of fact, I'm giving a presentation tomorrow for STEM Flights, which is public benefit flying kind of concept. And so I'm a pilot mentor for them, and so they're in Winchester, Virginia, and so we do a lot of flying. James Lindsay and I do a lot of flying with them, and so we partner with them quite a bit, so we bring them on too. So anyways, yeah, lots of good stuff.
Good. So what do you see Smokehouse Pilots doing in the next 90 days? Are you planning any events? You want to let us know what's coming up?
So in the next 90 days, we do have a calendar of events. So we have flyouts that are going to start back in May when we get back home from SunNFun. We didn't do a flyout this month because of SunNFun. But next month we will be flying, I think we're flying to Lancaster. I can't recall, but it's already planned out. The entire, Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The entire calendar is already planned out. So the leadership team and I meet once a month. And back in December, we planned the whole calendar for flyouts and everything. And then we also have speak-outs coming up, which is going to be the first Wednesday of the month in May. And so we have that. And so really cool story on Bush Pilot, and she's going to share her story, and it's going to be awesome. I'll stream that, and we'll also have that in person. Well,
good. Tell us a little bit about your career and then migrate that into how you got started flying.
So I don't come from aviation. I don't have any background from a family standpoint in aviation. My father essentially said, you're not going to the military, you are going to college, and that's not going to happen. So I never really had a, exposure. So anyways, I moved to Florida. I'm from Indiana. I moved to Florida in 2011. And while I was there, it's kind of funny. While I was there, I was in financial planning as, an operations person. And we were right under the flight path of Page Field in Fort Myers, Florida. And so while I was there, I just kept seeing these planes, and I'm like, this is cool. And so during my lunch break, I would drive to Page Field, and I would sit there. There's a fence right there. It's still there where you can sit and watch airplanes. And so I was just sitting there having my Subway sandwich. That's what it was. And I thought, why not write about flight planning and financial planning? So I was doing a lot of writing as far as the correlations of that, right? A good flight plan, a good financial plan, all that stuff. My boss at the time, he loved it. He was like, this is great. And so it was just cool. And so then at one point I'm like, okay, so I'm sitting here listening to air traffic control, throughout liveatc.net. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Why don't I just go become a pilot? And so anyways, I went to an air show in Page Field. Sorry for the long story, but.
And how long ago was that?
This was in 2010. And so, 2010. So went to an air show, signed up for a free discovery flight. I won it. And I think the reason I won it was because I was sitting there talking to these guys forever. They're like, we got to give this guy a chance here. so we did that. And then, 7-8 months later, I finished my check ride. So that's how I got into flying.
7 or 8 months?
Yeah, I did my,
pretty good.
I did my whole training in about 8 months. And
that's
so,
great.
Yeah, so all my flying was in Florida and Fort Myers, up and down the coast, all the good stuff. And then in 2011, I moved to Virginia, and so I'm now based in Leesburg, Virginia. And I use the airplane quite a bit to go see clients and things like that, but my goal has never been to fly for a living. It's just to use it for my living, I guess, and that's really what it is. And so that's really it, you know.
What are your aviation plans for the future? Any particular ratings or certificates you're looking for?
I plan this year to go get my commercial, which I will do in South Carolina, in Charleston, South Carolina, which is where I did my instrument rating with IFR 6. And then what I'll do is I'll knock the commercial out, and then I'll get my CFI as well. So I have zero desire, just to be clear. I don't really have a desire to go out and get a bunch of students or anything like that, but I just want to learn something new, and I don't think that would be a bad thing.
So you do not plan to train pilots in the future?
I mean, it's not
and
something...
If you do, what type of planes would you want to train them in?
I mean, I might train, I might have a student or two, but I don't have any desire to go to be an instructor for a flight school or anything like that. But if or when I do that, I think it would probably be something that's in the Cirrus model or something like that. I know that plane pretty well, so that's what I'd probably do.
I've seen pictures. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm very humbled that we can fly that plane, and I get so much joy with it. And, I really love putting new people in planes, and anytime I have an open seat, I try to put somebody in it.
Well, I'll volunteer.
Please come. Yes.
Sit in the first officer seat in your Cirrus, and
please do.
Fly to Venice or Punta Gorda, which is the airports near my home. Thank you, Gabe Muller from Smokehouse Pilots Club. Tell us how we can find you at the show as well as on the internet.
Cool. So we are in Hangar Delta, spot 71 here at SunNFun. You can definitely check out our website, smokehousepilots.com. We have our Facebook group, so Facebook/Smokehouse Pilots. In addition to Instagram, again, it's just Smokehouse Pilots as well there. And then finally our YouTube channel, which is Smokehouse Pilots as well. So those three places.
Thank you very much. This is Jeff Kramer from SunNFun 2024, SunNFun Radio at the 50th anniversary of the SunNFun Aerospace Expo.